Welcome back. Today we're going to improve your English listening with a real life story about a traveler's visit to North Korea. As you listen, try to catch the main ideas, new vocabulary, and useful expressions. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the story. Let's begin.
Imagine a country for a second where you have miles and miles of these massive highways, but there are zero cars on them.
Right. Just completely empty.
Yeah, none at all. And it's a place where the word internet basically doesn't even exist. Every single thing you see, read, or even think about is completely controlled by the government.
It sounds like, a sci-fi movie or something.
It really does. It sounds totally made up, but it's very real. Today, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most isolated and restricted places on Earth, North Korea.
And our mission today is to figure out what it's actually like to step inside that closed-off world. Not just the politics, but the ground-level reality for you or me.
Exactly. Before we can look at everyday life inside, though, we have to understand how difficult it is just to get through the front door. Because you can't just, buy a plane ticket and go there for a weekend trip.
Oh, definitely not. Getting in is a massive ordeal.
So let's say you want to go. You usually have to start in Beijing, in China, and take a train. A train that runs for 24 hours straight directly to the North Korean border.
Yeah, and you can't just go by yourself either. You have to be part of a highly organized, government-approved tour group.
Right. And the real story, the real shock, begins the minute that train stops at the border.
The atmosphere just changes completely.
It does. It gets super quiet and tense. Armed soldiers come onto the train and they start inspecting absolutely everything you own. And I don't mean just unzipping your bag and glancing inside.
No, they go through every single pocket.
Every pocket, every little pouch. If you have a book, they will literally flip through every single page of that book.
They're looking for very specific things, anything that could bring outside ideas in.
Exactly. Like if you have any religious texts, a Bible or a Quran, they will take it away immediately. Religion is strictly banned there.
Yeah, the state is the only thing you're allowed to believe in.
Right. They also look for political books, outside magazines, or any kind of internet transmitter like a Wi-Fi hotspot. That is a huge crime to bring in.
They even take your phone, right?
Yes. They literally take your personal cell phone and scroll through your pictures. They read your texts. They check your files.
Wow.
It's crazy. It reminds me of, imagine you have a super strict school principal.
Okay.
And this principal doesn't just check your backpack at the door to make sure you aren't bringing in junk food. Imagine if they took your personal diary, read every page, and then took your phone and swiped through all your family photos before they even let you walk into the school building.
That would be terrifying. But that's exactly what it is. And the reason they do this, the reason the soldiers are so strict, isn't just about regular security.
Right, it's about control, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's about absolute control over information. The government knows that if outside ideas come in, if people see how free the rest of the world is, then the reality the government built will be challenged.
So if you keep the outside light out, the people inside will just, accept the dark. They'll think the dark is normal.
Exactly. If no outside information exists, no one can question the government's rules. And this massive physical lockdown at the border, it really sets the stage for what everyday life looks like inside.
Because once you cross that border, you are basically in a closed-loop bubble. It feels like a giant country-sized prison.
Yeah. Total isolation.
There's no freedom to roam around. There is absolutely no Wi-Fi, no Facebook, no Instagram, zero access to the outside world.
They have a tiny fake internet, right?
Yeah, an intranet. It only has a few websites, and every single one of them is run by the government.
And this isolation doesn't just affect what they read, it completely shapes their economy.
Oh, for sure.
Because they are completely cut off. The whole country functions as a closed community. They have this idea called jusha, which basically means making everything yourself. They have almost zero trade with other countries.
Wait, okay, I have a big question about that. If they don't trade with other countries at all, how do they even survive?
It's extremely difficult.
Because, think about it like a regular family. Imagine a family decides they're never going to a store ever again. They're going to grow all their own food, sew all their own shirts, and build a house without buying any tools.
Right. That's a great way to picture it.
It sounds nice at first, but doesn't that naturally lead to running out of things? Like, eventually you need a tool you can't make out of dirt.
Exactly. And that thought process is spot on. That extreme self-reliance is exactly why there is such widespread, terrible poverty there.
Because you can't do everything alone.
No country can thrive in a vacuum.
No.
let's use your family analogy. If they want to grow food, they need a tractor. To run the tractor, they need oil.
Oh, right.
North Korea doesn't have much oil.
Yeah.
So if they won't buy it from other countries, the tractors stop. If the tractors stop, the food doesn't grow. And if the food doesn't grow, people go hungry.
Wow. So they're basically trapping themselves in poverty just to stay isolated?
Yes, the system just breaks down.
So if the economy is completely closed off and struggling that much, what does that actually look like when you walk down the street?
Well, the physical contrast is just jarring. It's poverty everywhere you look, even if they try to hide it.
Like those empty roads we talked about at the beginning, you see these massive, beautiful 6-lane highways, but they are practically ghost towns because ordinary people simply cannot afford cars.
You might see one person on an old bicycle crossing a giant 6-lane road.
Yeah, it's so strange to look at. And it's not just the roads. If you look at the houses, the power supply is incredibly
The
unstable.
lights constantly go out.
Right. Even in the capital city, it can be pitch black at night because they just don't have enough coal or technology to keep the electricity running.
But here's the crazy part. Here is what the government chooses to spend their money on instead.
Oh, the military stuff.
Exactly. Contrast all that poverty and darkness with heavy military displays everywhere. Tanks, giant missiles, thousands of soldiers marching.
And the statues.
Yes, giant statues and huge illuminated pictures of the leaders plastered on every single building. Even when the rest of the city is dark, those pictures have bright spotlights on them.
That is just wild. It's kind of like, okay, think about it like this. Imagine you spend all of your money buying a giant, scary guard dog for your front yard.
Okay, I see where this is going.
You buy this huge dog to look tough, but because you spent all your money on the dog, you literally don't have enough money left to pay your electricity bill or even buy dinner for your kids.
That's a perfect analogy. It makes no sense to us.
Right. Like, why not just feed your family instead of buying the dog?
Because to the government, that scary guard dog is everything.
Yeah.
They value this fake illusion of power at all costs. To them, the missiles and the huge military parades matter way more than giving people stable power or cars.
They just want to look terrifying to the outside world?
Exactly. And they want to look incredibly powerful to their own people so no one dares to rebel.
Okay, so with all this focus on missiles and all this extreme poverty, we have to talk about the actual people who live there. Because it's easy to just think of it as a scary place, but there are millions of regular humans living this every day.
Absolutely. And that's the most heartbreaking part because the people themselves are wonderful.
They really are. They have a beautiful, deep culture. They have amazing sports events and circuses and these huge, proud, traditional dances.
The human spirit is still there.
Yeah. When you see thousands of them performing together in a stadium, it's genuinely beautiful. They are just people with dreams and fake the poverty or the military.
And you're just holding your breath.
Just praying they don't confiscate your stuff, or worse, keep you there. And then, when the train finally crosses the border back into China, there is this massive feeling of relief, like a giant weight lifted off your chest.
But then, right after that relief, there's usually a deep sadness.
Yeah. Because, you know, we get to leave. We get to go back to our phones and our open internet and our freedom. But the average North Korean citizen, they're trapped.
It feels like a permanent prison for them, with no way out in sight.
It really does. It's so unfair.
It's a massive tragedy, especially when you look right next door at South Korea.
Oh, that's such a crazy contrast.
Right. Before 1945, they were one country. Same people, same history. But today, South Korea is one of the most prosperous, modern, wealthy countries in the world. They make our smartphones. Their music is globally famous.
And North Korea is just completely frozen in time.
Trapped in poverty, purely because of a political system. The idea of North Koreans having that kind of prosperity feels very, very far away right now.
Man, that is just, it's a lot to take in. So let's just recap the incredible contrasts we've explored today.
Yeah, it's a completely different universe.
We started with those intense, scary border checks. Then we looked at a society totally cut off from the internet, trying to survive completely on its own and failing.
We saw the empty highways right next to giant missiles.
Exactly. The government choosing fear over food. And beneath all that control and staging, a beautiful culture of everyday people just trapped in the dark.
It really shows you how important the flow of information is to a society.
It really does. Thank you so much for taking this journey with us today. It's a heavy topic, but an important one to understand.
Definitely. Thanks for listening.
But before you go, we want to leave you with one final, lingering question to ponder on your own.
Oh, a good one.
Yeah. If a society's entire power relies completely on keeping its people in the dark, What happens on the day a single crack of light, like a hidden cell phone or an outside book, finally makes its way through that 24-hour border and spreads? What happens when the dark finally shatters? Think about it.